There are new calls today for some tougher security along our southern border after an Arizona rancher was killed on his own property. Authorities believe that he was murdered by an illegal immigrant who then escaped into Mexico.
In Tucson today, protests continued over Arizona's tough new law cracking down on illegal immigration. It's estimated there are 500,000 illegal immigrants living in Arizona, that 9% of the state's population, nearly double that of what it was 20 years ago.
President Obama's amnesty plan is a dangerous path for our nation.
House Minority Leader John Boehner said the legislation, the immigration legislation currently working its way through our Congress is, quote, a piece of...
It is one thing to have free immigration to jobs. It is another thing to have free immigration to wealth. And you cannot have both.
Arizona spends $3 billion a year to educate, medicate, and incarcerate illegal aliens. Enough is enough.
Republicans won the vote to deny illegal immigrants welfare benefits, and the imperial Democrat majority changed the vote.
There are people in this town that are willing to break the rules and do extraordinary maneuvers just so that illegal aliens can get benefits.
They said this would be the most fair, open, and democratic Congress ever, and they did not shoot straight with the American people.
Last week, ICE arrested more than 750 Los Angeles area illegal aliens, one of the biggest sweeps of criminal foreign nationals in U.S. history.
The American people demand and deserve a solution. They deserve common sense, comprehensive immigration reform grounded in the principles of responsibility and accountability.
But for the vast majority of people who are here, we will give you a path to legalization.
Pro-illegal alien groups today demanded federal agents stop enforcing our nation's immigration laws. The groups say they want all deportations to stop until Congress passes an amnesty bill for illegal aliens.
Enough is enough.
Dustin Harris and Joe Levis and United in Liberty.
And good evening. Welcome to United in Liberty Radio. My name is Dustin Harris.
This is Joe Olivas.
Hey, we're hanging out with you one day early this week. We usually hang out with you on a Wednesday evening. This week we're going to do it on a Tuesday evening. It is April 27th. We're hanging out in our super secret deep inside the Rocky Mountain shelter. And we've got, I'll tell you, Joe, it's hot out there this week, and I'm not talking about the temperature.
Well, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people that are expressing frustration on a very personal level, and I could see arguments on both sides, but in the end, there's only one principled argument.
Well, and that's the bottom line with any of these things. You know, we can hear the emotion, go back and forth, and we do hear the emotion. Whether you're listening to YouTube, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, talk radio, you name it. You really do hear a lot of the emotion, and there's a whole lot of emotion going on in this immigration debate. We're specifically, of course, talking about the law in Arizona that was passed this last week. Jan Brewer, the governor down there, got a little pressure from the feds the morning before she signed this bill into law. And, it was kind of interesting, Joe, to watch what she did, because she really sat on this bill for a couple of days, kind of let the fury boil a little bit. It was interesting to me. I don't know if she was having second thoughts as to what she was doing, but in the end, she kind of thumbed her nose at President Obama, kind of thumbed her nose at the feds, and said, you know what? You can threaten me, but I'm going to do what the Arizonan people want me to do. I think I saw a poll where 71% of the individuals who are voters, who are legal in the state of Arizona, said that this was a bill that they wanted to see passed into law. She listened to them, and she signed it.
Well, I saw another poll. I did see that one. I saw another poll, though, that 60% of the country is in favor of the laws with regards to immigration and making sure that we secure our borders. You know, I have to wonder, and I know she did give a few days before she actually signed it into law. There was a little bit of time. There was a lot of discussion that was going on across the news, across the internet, newspapers everywhere. The president spoke out about it a little bit, as well as our big sister, Napolitano. So it was just one of those, one of those opportunities.
By big sister, you meant
big brother.
You meant big brother,
but
okay.
She's female.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah. So the reality is the fact that I think she gave some time for the federal government to go ahead and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and enforce the law. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, or let her maybe that she's giving the federal government the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to secure our borders. If you're not going to step up and do it, then you've left me no choice. But ultimately, she's the governor of that state. She has the responsibility to protect the rights and the rights and the borders of that state, and the rights for the citizens of that state. And I think she did a very, very impressive job. She could have given way to the emotions, but she held to the principle of securing the border.
Right.
And she didn't, and I hear all the arguments, and I hear the stuff that's going on, and around the office, where I spend part of my day. I get questions that are coming to me just because, the last name, Olivas, that it's, somehow.
Is that how you say that?
That's how you say it. But, it's one of those things that, people are going to ask. And I guess they somehow immigration means more to me because, I'm Latin surname, Latin descent, which is just funny in and of itself. I think, that should be something that's important to every
Are they checking
American,
your green card, Joe?
American Express, it's just,
Don't leave home with that.
That's
right?
As green as it gets.
All right.
But the reality is people are talking about this and they want to hear what I've got to say and whether or not I support this law or what took place. And I absolutely do support it. I mean, 100%. And the reason why is they're not doing anything more than enforcing the federal law.
Right. And if you look at the two side by side, they really are very, very close, if not identical. In other words, I haven't read the law. You've one up me on that. I know you've read the law, Senate bill. What is it? The
1070.
1070. I haven't. I looked at it. It was too long for me. I went to public schools, but Joe, I look at this law and correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I'll fully admit I haven't read through the law. I've just heard the rhetoric. But what I'm hearing makes me believe that this law is a duct tape law. And let me explain that. A duct tape law, what do you use duct tape for? I've never in my life used duct tape to fix a duct. Now, by the way, that's D-U-C-T. Most people don't understand.
It's not right?
Not duct tape. And I mean, let's argue that. I've never used duct tape to fix a quack duck either. Okay? I never have.
Animal rights will come after you.
No, those of you out there who aren't, home fix-it people and don't understand what I'm talking about, a duct, D-U-C-T, is a vent that will, we're talking HVAC or HVAC. We're talking about heating, and we're talking about cooling, and we're talking about getting air from here to there. We could talk about hot air, I guess, all day long. But the fact is duct tape is used quite often around my home. I've got several rolls. I've got a roll in each car. I've got a roll in my tool kit. I've got several rolls in my home, and I use it quite often. But I never use it for what it was intended to be used for, and that's to fix ducts. What ducts? Ducts. The problem is this, Joe. What I use duct tape for is when I don't have what I really need. Okay, if I need to fix something and I don't have the right part, I'm going to take the duct tape and I'm going to fix the dumb thing. That's why I have it in the vehicle. A lot of times you break down, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you don't have a hardware store or an automotive store close, so you take the duct tape and you fix whatever is broken, and you basically jerry-rig it and to push it along and get to where you need to go. All right? I look at this law very much the same way. Frankly, Joe, from what I know about this law in Arizona, I don't like it. I really don't. My initial thought is, okay, so you're going to make people carry papers. You're going to be able to stop people and say, "Show me your papers." I mean, it honestly reminds me of Nazi Germany and the Gestapo. Show me your papers. I don't like that. I really don't like that. On the other hand, if you are handed as a state, and I'm talking Arizona here, if you are handed the crap that has been given to them by the feds. In other words, they're not doing their jobs. They're not using the tools that they've been given to enforce the immigration laws on a federal level. What is the state left to do? The state is left to pass a duct tape law because they have no other choice. They're not near a hardware store and they're not near an automotive store. They don't have the right parts to fix the problem. So they have to limp it along by passing a law such as what we've seen in Arizona. In other words, I don't like the initial part of the law. Now, I'm hoping to get educated here. I'm hoping you'll educate me as to what the law says. But from what I've heard, I don't like it. On the other hand, what choice did they have?
Well, I mean, again.